Now, is prescribing exercise classes really the trick when it comes to women with poor levels of health?
I think, firstly, thank you for having me. I think this is really exciting because with COVID, with the pandemic, with people not having as much access to, say, community, to other people, to actually going out and having the energy or motivation to exercise or being anxious, providing something that we can prescribe will just give them the boost that they need. And often, psychological stresses can manifest in physical symptoms. So this could be, like you mentioned, depression. It can lead to obesity and increased fat levels that can then lead to diabetes. All of this can help tackle that.
Is the problem here not that for those people who are probably most in need of this, those people who are most overweight and at risk of having things like metabolic syndrome and obesity-related illnesses, that it's very difficult to encourage them to participate in sport? You might have someone in that middle category thinking, I wouldn't mind shedding a few pounds, who would be happily prescribed exercise. But for those who probably need this the most, well, it's just not going to get through to them.
So I agree with what you're saying, but I also think it's a sense of community, right? So say you had a friend who got prescribed these classes and tells another friend, so you have company to go to, you can company to go with, I mean, and once you get that sense of community, a lot of these classes, it encourages you, it motivates you, you're doing a bit more than you did the day before, and it's all about taking those little steps in improving your holistic health that will help us battle these chronic conditions, as per se, because it's not going to be an overnight thing and we all have to work together. We already have social prescribers among a lot of GPs all over the UK, actually, and they help prescribe patients to music classes, dance classes. But all of this was, with COVID on the back burner. So the fact that these classes are being launched is really, really exciting.
There'll be people, nutritionists out there, who say, frankly, you can't outrun a bad diet. And if these classes are going to be, say, once a week in someone's schedule, there's a risk here that they might go to one or two, think, well, it's OK, I don't mind it, but I'm too busy, I'm not seeing any changes, and just give up.
You're absolutely right. It can't be in isolation. It has to be in conjunction with a healthy diet. And often it's about lifestyle change, right? And change is something that everybody kind of stays away from. No one wants to change eating what they love or doing what they love. So I think, again, going back to the baby steps of maybe cut down the sugars, maybe cut down the fizzy drinks, or what I love telling my patients is 1 day a week, eat whatever you want. But if for 6 days you can abide by healthy, nutritious, wholesome meals, I think we're going to get one step closer to getting to our goal.
And what strikes me here is this is, again, for women only, when it's quite clear, when you look at statistics throughout the pandemic, when it's related to obesity and obesity-related illness, that men are probably in a worse off situation and in worse shape on the whole than women. Why do you think it's important that this programme is directed solely towards women?
That's a really interesting question. I think often, from what I have read recently and seen patients tell me, women go to gyms or they try to go to gyms and classes where they're mixed classes, and some of them who might be quite overweight may not always feel comfortable with men in a similar setting or may have had, negative experiences. So when there are classes only catering to women, it might give them that freedom of, okay, I'm not going to be judged or looked at in a certain way. I can just go and enjoy the next hour, worrying about my fitness or, just letting go of the day's stress. So I think that has a big part to play in it. And often if, say, a woman of a household is going and getting active, she might then impact the rest of the members as well. So I think it's also the domino effect. You have to think of the community, as we were talking earlier.